If you drove through the village of Bethel, Ohio, first founded in 1798, you might think it's just one of many quaint towns the state has to offer. However, history can be found everywhere, and this quiet village was the site of the only recorded witch trial in Ohio. As the story goes, the two eldest daughters of the Hildebrand family began acting in ways that were considered unusual for young women of their age. They would cry, scream, and speak of beings only they could see. These episodes often came on at night, and before long the family and eventually the town began to believe they were overtaken by evil spirits. In an attempt to rid them of these spirits, the family performed a ritual. Using a bag made of linsey woolsey, a coarse fabric of linen and wool, was prepared as a kind of binding sack. Some members of the family held the bag, while others carried out a ceremony meant to trap the witch inside it. Once the ritual was complete, the sack was placed on the porch, chopped into pieces with an axe, and burned. The ritual, however, did not work. The daughters continued to suffer from fits of screaming and unseen torment. It was then that suspicion turned outward, and an accusation was made against Nancy Evans, an elderly neighbor. The Evans family were close neighbors of the Hildebrands. Nancy reportedly owned a black cat, and that alone was enough to stir fear and suspicion among the townspeople. Concerned for their daughter's safety, the Hildebrands brought the matter before the local justice of the peace. At the time, Ohio, still a relatively new state, had no laws addressing witchcraft. The justice of the peace, familiar with the infamous witch trials of New England, chose to conduct a witch weighing. According to this method, the accused would be weighed against a Bible. If she weighed less, she was considered a witch. If more, she was deemed innocent. A scale was set up over a pond, with Nancy Evans suspended above the water. This all happened at the current-day intersection of State Route 125 and 232, approximately on the same spot as the town's Speedway gas station. Nancy agreed to the test and, unsurprisingly, proved to be heavier than the Bible. In the process, she was drenched and nearly drowned, but she survived. Not long after the incident, the Evans family relocated to the Brown County area, likely to distance themselves from the community that had accused one of their own. Nancy lived out the rest of her life there, reportedly as a respected member of the community, and died of old age. Some versions of the story suggest there may have been a feud between the Hildebrand daughters and Nancy Evans. There are no clear records indicating whether the daughters' afflictions continued, leaving open the question of whether their behavior was the result of supposed supernatural forces or teenage bullies.